Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today, let's talk Celia and Danny returning for Fear the Walking Dead. Now listen, I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't look at any news articles, so if this is in the news, or something in the news came out recently that kind of contradicts what we're going to talk about, I apologize. I haven't really been keeping up with any news, nor have I remembered seeing much news about the Fear the Walking Dead coming up. But one thing that's been bothering me is what they did with Celia and Daniel. And to be honest, yeah, I was slightly underwhelmed with the second half of Season 2, or the first half of Season 2. I haven't really been looking forward to the second half. I know it's actually coming soon, but my focus has been so much on The Walking Dead Season 7 that, to be honest with you, I forgot Season 2 didn't end. That's bad. And I just remembered now when I turned this video on, we're not making predictions for Season 3 of Fear the Walking Dead. Season 2 never ended. They took a break. Yeah, that just hit me, that realization, so shit. Alright, so Fear the Walking Dead, the mid-season break, the mid-season finale, they showed Madison puts Celia in the cage. She tricks her into going into the cage, which she didn't have to really trick her that much. Anyway, Celia's in the cage, and it looks like the walkers are eating already. It looks like they have been fed. Madison shuts the door, and Celia looks worried for a split second. The actress and the producer, showrunner, one of them, talked later on saying that it was only a split second she was worried. It's like an instinct to be worried in that situation, and then she was fine with it. Now that's all they decided to disclose. They didn't really go into anything else. They didn't tell us that, yeah, she was officially eaten. They didn't go into any other information, not that I've seen, which leads me to believe that, you know what, chances are Celia wasn't all that worried because she knew of an additional way out. She knew of areas to hide or to move away from the walkers. She had a different plan to get around the affected, possibly. Then you got Danny coming in. Now Danny coming in, lighting the place on fire, does two things, possibly. It does one thing for sure. It ends the finale by burning the place down, making our survivors go out on the road. And they can't just get in Strand's boat and leave because Travis is out there with Chris. And Nick is pissed off now at his mom and leaves. So they have the family. You can, rant on it or rave on it, however which way you felt afterwards. But they successfully got the family split up, and they can't just get on the boat and go back on the boat. So the story has to continue here. But again, since Danny burned down the compound, that story is done, so it pushes the story out. But another thing it potentially does, it opens up the possibility of Celia and Danny connecting and returning, the both of them. They already confirmed that Danny will return for Season 3, which is kind of odd for them to confirm. You think they would come out and say, you know what, yeah, Danny's still alive, there's a good chance he's coming back, whoop-de-whoop. Maybe they knew there's no way they can hide that from filming, so okay. They admitted Danny's coming back, but to say he's coming back in Season 3 just seems odd. It seemed like you would leave fans lingering around. Maybe they're tricking us and he's going to return in Season 2. Maybe they're being honest and he's going to return in Season 3. The main question I'm asking, and I want your thoughts and opinions on this, and I want to know how many other fans out there thought about this same thing. The fact that Celia and Danny could have run into each other when Danny came into that room, lit them on fire. Danny's there to accept his fate. And Celia was twisted, absolutely. Absolutely. She has her flaws. But there's one thing I noticed in the season finale, the mid-season finale. We're looking at people that essentially are taking care of Danny, who's going through a mental breakdown. They don't have these diabolical schemes to torture him or to do any bad shit. You might not believe or understand their way of life, you know what I mean? I wouldn't follow it either if I was there. But Celia they don't seem like these villains that are just clearly villains, like Celia's very different from the governor, very different from Negan, who those are clear villains for the reasons that they are. Celia's somebody who just has a very unconventional way of life in that world, considering everyone else is fighting the walkers. They see the walkers as the threat, and Celia just sees it as, the next phase of life. That's what happens next. So if you get this person who might even be compassionate to what Danny's going through, and she seemed like she was showing him some compassion, she might walk up to him when he's going to accept this fate of burning alive and coax him out of there, convince him to just come out of the compound. Now, obviously, she's probably going to be a wreck also because she's witnessing her compound get burnt up, but she probably knows, well, this is a bad idea because this is going to explode. I mean, alcohol, whatever's flammable in that area, I don't know what else was there because that was a pretty huge explosion. I was assuming there was some other things there that I just didn't piece together other than it being a wine cellar. I don't know, maybe wine is that flammable? I don't know. It seemed like, if my memory serves me correct, it was a pretty big damn explosion, wasn't it? Didn't it seem like it was a little too quick? I thought it would be slower than that to catch fire, but maybe not. Anyway, so maybe Celia brings Danny out, and those two will return in Season 3 of the Fear of the Walking Dead, which leads me to wonder, what story is left for Celia? Danny, he's an awesome character. There's definitely story left for Danny. But what's left for Celia? Will we see a different, kind of Celia come out of this? Will we see the characters now, the main cast of Fear the Walking Dead? Will we see them adapt Nick's new way of life, hiding and camouflaging themselves in with the walkers? Will we see this from the perspective of what some comic fans are already upset about because it's a little too close for comfort with main villains in the comic book? I'll admit right now they can get close, but once they pass a certain line, I feel like it becomes a really fucked up thing to do, because there is a potential that they can ruin one of the greatest reveals in the history of the Walking Dead comic. If the Fear the Walking Dead, which you have fans of the TV show that might not read the comic, might not know what's coming, there's a chance they could adapt some storyline that could actually ruin one of the greatest reveals coming up in the original show. And that is very, very true. I'm not going to go in depth in this video because I don't want to ruin it for you, because I strongly believe it's one of the greatest reveals in the entire comic. It adds a level of creepiness that the Walking Dead comic has never, ever had before. Since issue 1, it's never had that level of creepiness. And there's a chance Fear the Walking Dead could dilute some of that reveal in a way. So listen, we got fans staying kind of quiet on Fear the Walking Dead, but I would like to get some discussion going, slowly start it back up. If you guys are interested in doing some more Fear the Walking Dead Q&As, leave your questions below. Do not forget, put Q and A before your question, and if we get enough participating, we will come out with a few Q&As for Fear leading into the trailer, which we're going to break down on this channel, and then go into the reviews and prediction videos. So leave your questions and comments down there in that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn.
Subscribe now.